We should stop for a few minutes, Mr. Royal. See if this fog lifts.
Royal said nothing. Instead, he watched his feet squelching in the sodden grass, and occasionally grimaced, as if in pain.
Do you hear me?
Grady persisted, anxious to stop before the ground gave way completely, or they walked right into an icy river and froze to death. He hoped the saddle blanket they'd used to shroud Laws would help contain the scent of blood long enough for them to get home. If the horses caught wind of it, they'd go berserk. For now, at least, they plodded dutifully along, no hint in their demeanour of the tragedy lightning had caused. In that, Grady envied them, for he was finding it increasingly difficult to erase the ingrained image of Laws flying backward through the air, the blood soaring upward from his face like an elongated tongue.
We should have stayed with them,
Royal said, rubbing his brow with the back of one pudgy hand.
We'll get lost out here. End up like Laws. Jesus.
His face creased into a grin. A laugh bubbled out of him.
Wait until my bitch of a mother-in-law hears about this.
Grady stopped, halted his horse, and looked squarely at Royal.
Listen to me, he said. What happened was an accident. Laws has been around horses long enough to know that the red ribbon on Lightning's tail wasn't there for decoration. He was distracted, that's all. A case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But his head. Did you see what lightning did to his head? I did. What will I tell her? What will I tell his wife? The truth.
Grady told him.
That he wasn't paying attention, and the horse kicked him. Nothing else. What else is there? Plenty. Try to keep your mind off it, Grady advised. Do you think the others will be all right? Yes. I wouldn't have left them if I didn't.
Stones crunched beneath their feet, which to Grady signified that they'd reached the hay tor, although there would be no hope of seeing the gravel marker in the fog. Still, it would be a good place to rest, and it told him they were headed in the right direction. Of course, there was also a chance that they'd been going around in circles and had come back to the same tor they'd passed with the hunt. But he doubted his tracking skills had atrophied that badly since he'd last been called upon to use them. We'll stop for breath here, he said, looping the mare's tether around a small boulder, which he also used as a seat. Royal, fist white around Lightning's reins, sat down opposite him on a rotted stump Grady feared wouldn't hold his weight.